The following video contains spoilers for the Fate Stay Night visual novel, Fate Stay Night 2006, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel, and Fate Zero. Continue watching at your own discretion. Hello, anime fans. We are the anime connoisseurs.
Welcome back, guys.
This is the review of the Fate Stay Night anime trilogy.
Wow, it's gonna be exciting, man.
Yeah, the three of us recently watched through Fate Stay Night 2006, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, and Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel. Me and Johan are Fate newbies. These were some of our first Fate properties, but Chaos is actually a Fate veteran. He's seen a lot more of this stuff.
We did watch Fate Zero
as well.
Before. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Some background on me. I still haven't read the VN, but I know quite a lot about it. I'm still learning new stuff every day. It's a great series. Read the VN if you can, but these animes are still great in their own right.
Yeah. I'm planning to read the VN at some point in the future. I found a good download link, I think.
Yeah, it's like
I'm
don't be afraid to pirate it. It's they're not releasing this in English ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not planning on reading the VN only because there's other VNs that I'm planning on reading.
If you are up to like buy it, however that's possible, do so. Support, Type Moon and everyone, but
don't hold your breath.
Well, I've been doing that in other ways.
Yeah, we are not.
If you want to support Type Moon, then just play Fate Grand Order.
Yeah.
That's not what I was referring to, but
that's what's funding a lot. FGO is like what's funding a lot of like current Fate projects.
I was actually thinking about Melty Blood, because that's
that
technically
too.
Type Moon.
Yeah.
That's Type Moon as well. Yeah. Oh Lord.
If Nasu ever sees this fucking somehow, please let us English players do this. We will pay with the VN if you let us.
Also, please translate Sukai Maho Sukai no Yoru. Please translate it in English.
Yes, please and thank you, Nasu.
So Fate is part of the Nasu-verse, which is like quite a huge franchise of different series. You got Cardinal Kyokai, Tsukihime, Melty Notes.
Maho Sukai no Yoru, or Witch of the Holy Night.
Mm-hmm.
All these like interconnected series don't really interact much outside of Carnival Phantasm, but
it's really cool how actually there's a couple series that you'll see.
There's stuff that they don't interact much, but it happens.
It does.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Anyways,
shall we get started?
Yes.
Yes. We're starting with Fate Stay Night 2006.
Studio
made
DEEN,
by Studio DEEN.
The Fate.
Yeah. This
All
is
right.
the Sabre route.
So, does anyone have anything to bring up? Because I have stuff that's more for like the end of the series.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me say that this was nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Really?
Yeah.
As before I learned anything about Fate, I had heard about the Fate, the Fate route from 2006. Oh, it's so bad. It's
oh my god, you still like CGI, even though there's like 1 point of CGI that's like 5 seconds.
Yeah, but I had a thoroughly good time watching this anime.
Yeah, it gets a bad rap for some of the stuff it does, but it's still on its own a good anime.
On its own, it's a perfectly enjoyable watch, and I think a lot of the reasons why it gets shat on so much is because it's compared to UFO Table's godly animation that came afterwards.
I mean, when talking about Studio DEEN's Fate route, people will always mention the animation, but the truth is that it's not really
It's
not bad at
that.
all.
It's really not that bad, especially for an anime of its time period.
Yeah.
It's
So
fine.
I'd say it's very good at some points.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's a show I'd rather look at than something like Gundam Seed from the same era.
yeah, I mean, there's like the whole meme about the CGI dragon, but like, guys, that's like 5 to 10 seconds. Like, come on,
Yeah, that's one scene in one episode.
it's not that bad.
It's a pretty alright looking show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As for the plot, this is probably the most straightforward of the three animes.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a result of tampering from the visual novel or just straying from the visual novel.
Even the visual novel is pretty much this most straightforward route.
Yeah, and I think that's by design.
It's the first one, and
it's by design because it's the first one. It sets expectations for what everything is.
It generally introduces most of the concepts.
There's also a lot of lighthearted moments in that one. Maybe not lighthearted, but there's a lot of time to get to know the characters. Especially like when Ilya joins the house, like there's a lot of interactions between the different characters, which I feel like is not as common
later
in the other routes.
Yeah, this is a thing in the VN, like those a whole bunch of just downtime moments, lots of cooking, especially. This is like in all three routes. But
isn't there like a whole spin-off that's just like a whole spin-off anime that's just like Shiro and his friends having dinner together?
Yep,
Shiro, featuring Gordon Ramsay and Benny Enma from Fate Grand Order.
It's today's menu from Emmy Family also.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. Fun times. But yeah, there's like all three routes have a lot of those like sort of downtime moments where you just
it's very visual novel kind of writing, I think.
Yeah.
Little episodic moments in between the action.
Yeah. But yeah, that's not as prevalent in the anime adaptations, especially in
the last two.
In both tables, but yeah, in fact I do think we were talking about this while we were watching. Like Dean Stay Night sort of has more of that visual novel kind of feel to it.
Oh yeah, you did mention that.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about Sabre, and specifically Sabre's relationship with Shiro.
Okay.
Because
I was actually going to say that this route specifically has a lot of attention and attention towards like Shiro's character and Artoria's character.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to mention. That I feel like this anime has the most balanced between Shiro and his female counterpart. I feel like more so than the other ones that come after this, there's a big Shiro and Sabre get an equal amount of development, and they kind of learn to. Shiro learns to depend on other people, and learn to preserve himself. Artorio learns to also embrace her feminine side a little bit, and value the people in her life and not just her legacy as the king.
Yeah.
It's a shame that she couldn't stick around.
That was.
Come on, man. Gilgamesh can stick around for 10 years, but Artoria can't. Come on, Nasu, you could have pulled some Holy Grail bullshit about that.
I forgot which route it was, but there is an ending where Sabre gets to stay around after the Grail War.
Hell yeah.
Is that UBW?
I think it's UBW. Oh yeah, on Sabre, yeah. I think one of the things, she. I love their relationship. I do think like part of it is that she kind of learns the same lesson as him, just being.
Yeah, I think they're the most similar with each other.
Yeah, less destructively selfless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they learn to be a bit more. They learn a bit more restraint with that sort of part of themselves. Learn some self-respect.
And it kind of gets into some criticism people have of Fate Zero because Sabre's character is a bit different.
Yeah, I was gonna say I still prefer Fate Zero's version of Sabre.
Really? Yeah. You know, a lot of people would argue with you all day and night about this.
Yeah, I don't know if I.
Good thing we're not posting this on Reddit, right?
Oh, it'll find us where there eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it, but I just kind of like the vibe she had more.
hmm She was more, I guess, eloquent in
Yeah, yeah,
Phase
a
Zero,
bit more
and
mature.
yeah, and just a lot more, more mature and just king-like, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
like the aura of
Yeah, like that. Like the sort of disposition of a royal or a king. Huh?
yeah, like royal aura of royalty, something like that. Yeah,
Saber's a bit more war. I think.
chivalrous is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, chivalry is like the big theme in Fate Zero that people kind of disagree with how she was portrayed there.
Yeah,
Oh, you think so?
especially with Irisville,
You think so?
Not Irish Field specifically, but like aspects like her rivalry with the Yarmouk Lancer. So that thing at the Banquet of the Kings where like she like really didn't defend herself after
That's,
Ryder gave
that's
her that
interesting
bump down.
because honestly, like the episode with like the Banquet of Kings was probably my favorite episode in that series.
Yeah, that's that's a big point of contention between like hardcore Zero fans and hardcore OGVN fans.
Yeah. Oh,
Interesting.
yeah.
Like,
Is that different in the Fate Zero VN?
Well, the Fate Zero, it's a
Zero
light
has a
novel.
light novel.
It's a light novel, yeah.
Ah, that's right.
Not that much was changed. There's a lot cut.
Mm-hmm.
Some,
As
some, of the
usual.
cuts from some of the cuts from Fate Zero, I think I like. Kiritsugu's a bit more of a silly edgelord in
Really?
the
Damn.
Hold on.
More
Actually,
in
that
the
might be
anime?
interesting because I like
like
edgelords.
the most over the top edgy way of describing eating burgers.
Wait,
Damn.
how? What? That's, I
the
would
taste
read
reminds him
that.
of slaughter or something like that.
Wait, what? Repeat that. Say that one more time.
Like how the taste of burgers reminds him of slaughter.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
I actually think I would get
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
enjoyment,
you
some
enjoy that,
fulfillment out of reading that. That sounds
Yeah.
great. Because
But
I
yeah,
already like Kiritsu. Oh no, the fate. What do we call them? Fate primaries or just elitists? Is that what we call them? They're gonna fucking fry me for this. But I like Kiritsu Goemiya. I'm very sorry.
yeah. I think both. There's a lot of fighting between. Oh, is Kiritsugu good?
They're both
Like
spoiler. They're both good.
they're both great
They're
characters.
both excellent
Mhm, mhm.
characters. Yeah. If you watched our tier list video, I think you would know that. So
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we're getting a bit off track from
I'm sorry.
Fate Stay Night, so
Yeah,
let's
from the like
get back to that.
This is gonna happen, guys. We really like Fate.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the entire series is probably like top 3 for me at this point.
Hmm.
Um,
I mean, yeah. It's
like
same.
in terms of how much I like it, not in terms. Yeah,
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
my profile picture right now is a Type Moon character. So
All
all right,
so yeah.
I think what we should do. Do we have any more praises about the Studio Dean before we get into the criticisms? Because I definitely have a lot of criticisms.
Hmm.
Specific praises for Dean adaptation.
Like I said, I liked the character interactions. I thought those were cool. There were a couple times where Ilya was fucking adorable.
Yeah.
Where she was like hiding in Shiro's
Oh,
bed.
there's at least one time like that.
That was funny. And then like she was like hugging him. I don't know. I just found that like
Lolly snuggle gag.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of fun. There's like some visual gags. Taiga's always hilarious.
Oh yeah, Taiga's amazing throughout all these.
I think I kind of like her the best as far as the anime goes in Beans.
Mhm.
There's this one funny scene where like Saber bonks her on the head with a sword.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And then there's like an edit where it's like doing it over and over again, like
Yeah.
oh my god, that's a good one.
It's not the bad series a lot of people point out to be, but there are problems.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah, let's get into those, shall we?
Okay. So my first criticism. I had an issue with Hercules' death in the Fate route, and this is where we're going to start getting into spoiler territory. I thought it was kind of a cop out. So Archer killed 6 lives off of Hercules in the fight at the Ironsburn Mansion.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been really interesting to have a very long, arduous, and grueling like battle
Fight
between.
where they like hack off his lives one by one.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been really sick. I don't know if that's what happens in the VN, but
No, the VN is basically the same as far as I remember.
yeah. So I think that would have been sick. I just think like okay, I get the sword is great. Like
Such a
Excalibur,
cool sword. Yeah.
Excalibur is like powerful, but I don't think it should be able to kill multiple lives. That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, this is why I need to like actually read the VN for myself, because the VN tends to elaborate on how stuff happens and the mechanics. But writing wise, yeah, it does feel like a cop out. There's silly moments on how the powers interact with each other. Don't seem to.
Yeah.
So, it seems to like invalidate some of the narrative impact of certain stuff. I think.
Yeah, and I'll get into the stuff that the VN or that the anime leaves out in a second.
Yeah,
but,
best example of this I think is sort of Lancer's Noble Phantasm.
Really?
Yeah, it's sort of like, so what it does is rewrites causality to like
So that the attack is guaranteed to hit.
guaranteed to hit the heart, and
Yes,
like
the heart.
it never actually works because
Lol.
Sabre's luck stat
Is through the roof.
yeah, through the roof. Magic resistance is through the roof, and like just sort of doesn't work.
It's not just Artoria. It doesn't work against like a bunch of enemies.
Anyone,
Gil, Hassan.
It's literally like the Emerald Splash.
No one can deflect the Emerald Splash.
Oh my God. No, like, and then who else? Friggin', like Archer as well. Like, I think he uses against Archer at some point. If I'm
yes, he does in UBW. He
yeah.
Archer
Like, what the fuck, man?
And he uses it against True Assassin. Does he use it against True Assassin in Heaven's Feel?
He tries to, and
yeah, Hassan
fails from getting killed before that.
Yeah, that's we'll get to that, but
Yep.
Yeah, but I think it feels like an narrative cop out, but it also is kind of interesting world building into its own way that so we establish how crazily overpowered this stuff is and how it sort of bounces off of each other.
Yeah.
And again, the VN does a whole lot better job of explaining just how this world's mechanics work. Because like, I believe like there's quite a few moments where like even first time watching, I'm scratching my head on how certain things happen.
Yeah, that's kind of a running theme.
I remember not quite understanding like the ending of Fate Zero, for example, and
yeah, you kind of gotta go back to the wiki a couple times for that one.
Yeah. And having to talk to like Fate fans, explain, okay, this is what happened. You'll learn more in later groups if you don't get it now. Either way.
All right.
Another thing, one thing that one criticism that I have is I think that Caster and the other guy, I forget what his name is.
Kuzuki.
Caster and Kuzuki, I feel like they kind of got gipped in this one.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's
I'm gonna get into that in a second.
Yeah, and that's sort of a product of them changing stuff from the VN.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that when we were watching.
I mean, even in the VN, their role is pretty short-lived.
Yeah, I think their best showing was in UBW because at least they at least they like got Sabre in that one.
Yeah,
but in this one, there's not a whole lot of consequences with their actions, I guess. They're just going to show up, kidnap Sakura briefly, and then Gil kills them.
Yeah, they did actually less in the VN than that.
Oh my God. Okay, so I think a lot of people have been waiting for this. One of the biggest issues with Studio DEEN's Fate route is that the second half of the anime, having components from the other routes ultimately makes the anime very messy and disorganized.
Yeah, specifically they sort of rip
Rip
the
stuff from other routes. Yeah.
yeah. In fact, you know what? Yeah, they rip parts of Heaven's Feel.
Which now that
away.
we've seen Heaven's Feel, I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
it doesn't even correlate. Like what? So in the original VN, the whole part with Sakura doesn't happen at all. That does
Really?
not happen at
Yeah,
all
no,
in the
at all.
original VN.
No.
So she has even less to do with the main series.
Yeah. And you know this, like on a side note, people always talk about how Zero sort of spoils,
Oh my
like
lord.
Heaven's Feel, and like I never see anyone saying that about the Dean anime because that spoils the whole thing about Sakura being a holy, sort of a pseudo holy grail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that now that I think of
Yes.
it kind of does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So honestly, if you want to skip that part, I wouldn't blame you. So the whole sequence is one of the most negligible parts of the anime.
Yeah.
So what happens in the VN is Medea shows up at the house and she's mortally wounded, and then Gil kills her, and then this leads to, and then eventually, I believe, not specifically, this isn't where they kidnap Ilya, but Gil and Kirei come back later, I think, and kill and kidnap Ilya.
Yeah, because like in between that part, we still have the part where Gilgamesh fights Sabre and Shiro at the Fuyuki Bridge.
Sigurd?
No, Sabre. I
You said
Sabre.
Sigurd.
No,
No,
you said Gilgamesh fights Sabre. I did not say Sigurd. I said Sabre and Shiro.
Sigurd. Anyways. Yeah.
Uh,
So just that whole part, I guess they didn't think that they were gonna have other routes animated, or I guess Dean Dean didn't think that.
Like you said, they were trying to like combine all of them.
It's interesting because they were thinking about bringing back some aspects that were cut from the original VN. For example, if you know Mash from Grand Order,
Yep.
she is based on a concept character from like the original VN that didn't make it in. I forgot the original character's name, but they were also a shielder, had basically the same design.
Shiro was actually originally a woman, by the way.
That is we can go into like what's it called Fate prototype later because that's prototype predates even that. It's like a first draft that has sort of spun off into its own.
Yeah, let's not go into that right now. But hey, at least in that entire part, you get to see Sakura in some nice what do we even call that? Her attire.
Bondage gear.
Yeah. I was gonna say like a boot, like some type of bustier or something, but it's not even that. It's just like damn, damn. Oh my lord. But then you learn her backstory, and then you feel bad.
Oof. Yeah, that becomes particularly uncomfortable once you learn her backstory.
Yeah, it's like, oh my no. All right, my next issue, and I Chaos is gonna yell at me for this. I had some issues with the stuff how he was treating Artoria.
I mean, that's how he is.
Yeah,
I know, but
it's
like,
a bit weird.
It's kind of like the opposite of how he treated her in Fate Zero, and this is something that Noah brought up.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like Gil kind of did a 180 on between treating Artoria as a like a fellow ruler and just as like a side piece.
Well, well, a few things to that. Again, Fate Stay Night was what came first, so this is what established his character. Fate Zero is a bit of a deviation from that, but I think.
But is it like that in the VM?
I think, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There's.
I might read that scene in particular.
Yeah. In fact, there's one point where one bad ending where like he force feeds the Grail Mud to Sabre and it's not great.
Oh. Oh yeah, that's right. There's actually
bad endings.
Bad endings. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. But I mean, his disrespect for Sabre was still there in Fate Zero, honestly.
Yeah.
Where
I guess so.
Where he compares him to like the virgins he fucked on when he like
Yeah.
fucked people's wives
Yes.
on sporting nights.
Yeah. I suppose some of our opinions will be colored by the fact that we watch Fate Zero first.
Yeah, it's gonna piss off a lot of people, but
Sorry.
that's how I started, and I'm very happy that I did. I don't think I would have gotten into the series.
Yeah, I think some of a lot of my experience was enhanced by the fact that I started with Zero.
Especially Heaven's Feel. I feel like to really appreciate Heaven's Feel, you should watch Fate Zero first.
Not necessarily, but
Not necessarily.
I do think that narratively it feels like it'll be a payoff for you if you did start with Zero.
Yeah.
But
I also if you start with Zero, I feel like you have a lot more of appreciation for Kirei as a villain.
Yeah,
because if you do it like the quote unquote proper way, you kind of see his development in reverse.
That is true. Yeah,
like he just starts out as this evil asshole in like Fate Stay Night, and you're like, okay, cool, and then you watch Fate Zero, and it's like, okay, that's why he's like that. But with if you do it the other way, then you kind of get to see this like thorough line of like started from here and now we're here, and I think that's a lot more engaging.
Zero is also kind of retconny for Kirei. In the visual novel, it was sort of established that he had already known sociopath before sort of delving into that. But Zero has him sort of kind of discover that. I don't think that's something that can like be sort of reconciled though. In that Kirei sort of pressed down that.
He repressed that sort of thing. Honestly, I think Fate Zero, that interpretation is a lot more interesting.
Either way, he's still a
fantastic villain either way.
Yeah, he is easily.
But back to Gil though. I think.
So what actually happens? Because like when Kirei absorbs the Grail Mud, he gets revived, and his heart becomes like. It's not like a real heart; it's like a fake heart. That's
So it's Gil that sort of absorbed the Grail Mud, and so that
no with Artoria.
What? What do you mean with Artoria?
No, you said that she got like the Grail Mud inside of her, or something like that.
There's a bad ending where like he force feeds her Grail Mud for his entertainment.
Yeah.
But what happens? Because doesn't that like?
I mean, she becomes Sabre Alter, and
does she?
Yeah. In that one, she does become. And
okay. So she does become Sabre Alter in that one.
Yeah, and like, it's not a happy time for her.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Lots of bad endings we could talk about. I have one to say about Gil. Like even like back in Zero, with his disrespect. Like if you remember, like in that last episode, he was like demanding that she married him.
But that's because he's an incel. I mean, let's be honest.
Well, he's not an incel. He's just
the king.
What's the word for it?
He's an asshole.
Yeah, he's an asshole. That's appropriate.
Okay.
He gets better later in his life, but that's
apparently he was nice as a kid too.
Yeah.
So what happened? I mean, like Enkidu stuff, maybe? Is that?
Well, I think Enkidu was actually a positive thing for him.
Enkidu's death specifically was a positive influence.
Well,
it started sort of his getting better. But
well, then what happened?
I mean, I think having like all the wealth and power in the world will kind of do that to you.
No, I mean maybe.
So, this is on his part. It's sort of a partial act on purpose. So like sort of because he is part deity. So this
Jesus got you.
Not
really.
Sort of he wanted to like disconnect human from like the what's known as the Age of Gods in Fate in the Nasuverse. He wanted to overthrow that, so making himself kind of an asshole further pushed his agenda in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of making humans sort of want strive in being independent from sort of the old gods in sort of fate.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have one final point. Does anyone else have any
I don't think so. Go for it.
for the fate route?
I don't think so. As far as the ending goes yet.
I mean, I don't even think it's the ending. The ending's fine. It's
Yeah.
just all right. So, before I present my final point about the fate route, let me preface this by saying that this is not a criticism towards Shiro's character at all. It is a criticism towards Studio DEEN's fate route, and specifically what it leaves out from the VN.
Oh yeah.
So, one issue that I had with Shiro in this route is that some of his decisions are absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he runs into Herc's like attack. He runs
Well, I think that's a
into
consistent thing throughout all the timelines.
yeah, doesn't he runs into Gil's attack, but it's especially bad in this one. And he's constantly like doing what he's not told. Like he pisses off well, I don't think Tosaka ever told him to bring Artoria to school, but he didn't do that, and like
I
that's
think
fine.
like Artoria herself suggested that, and
Yeah, and he
she
constantly
refused.
It's more like a common sense kind of thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't do that all the time.
now
Although the circumstances behind his not being able to bring Artoria,
Yeah.
since he
And-
can't put her in the spirit form.
so my point is that I wish the anime would contextualize his decisions, but by including his inner
Yeah.
monologues from the VN.
And to be fair, that is a bit hard to do. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it would rationalize Shiro's decisions and give a justification for his ridiculous action and ridiculous and volatile decisions. Like I mean, like he almost dies like 3 or 4 times in that route.
he died several times throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
He just like outright dies. It's like only thing that's keeping alive is Avalon.
Is-
Avalon, Avalon go burr, yeah. So yeah, and but it gets like really bad in the Studio DEEN anime because there are some decisions that he makes that are horrible, and the inner monologues do justify them.
Yeah.
But they're not there, so it gives the impression
that
that
he's
Shiro,
just a dumbass.
yeah, that
Yeah.
either he's a dumbass or that he just makes these like he's very stubborn, and here Shiro is stubborn. He's a very
Yeah.
strong-headed,
Yeah.
stubborn character, but it just doesn't make him seem like he's just throwing his life away. And I mean that is his character, but it comes off in a rather negative light.
Yeah, like sort of a consequence of that is you don't really get to truly understand like the depths of his sort of PTSD and like sort
Survivor's guilt.
Yeah, survivor's guilt.
and just like his lack of like sort of
Self-respect.
self-worth and like survival instinct
Mm-hmm.
comes off
He
a
has
lot
a
better.
lot of complexes, by the way. He has
Oh boy.
Yeah,
like
Oh, look at my
let's see. He
textbooks
has
about this guy.
martyr complex, survivor's complex. I think
Saber
savior complex is another one.
Yep.
yeah.
With Artoria and specifically Sakura.
Also, he's low-key sexist.
Yeah, that's another thing about Dean. It makes him seem like actually
Sexist, yeah.
when like it's like a lot of those comments are just like him.
Like, yeah, he would do that for anybody, regardless of gender.
Yeah. A lot of those comments are just him trying to like make justifications and like
Yeah.
even sometimes he's like, oh yeah, that was actually stupid. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's
He
really
does sound
funny.
like that.
Because I have read like a little bit of into the Fate route, like when after he kills like after getting killed by Herc and like the chewing out version is like, yeah, no, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
That was dumb.
Nice. There's this like one meme where it's like Artoria is saying to Shiro like, "Hey, do you smell that?" And he's like, "What?" "Yeah, it's the kitchen. Get started in the kitchen." Like,
Yeah.
so it's kind of funny if you really think about it. Like Artoria kind of is like the man in the relationship. Or
Yeah.
I mean,
kind of.
Shiro
Like,
was basically the quintessential male wife.
yeah.
cooking is like again goes back to cooking.
Yeah, yes, he does the cooking. Yes, he does the cleaning.
Yeah,
yeah.
you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean. But
There's a lot of jokes, even Fate Grand Order about Shiro being sort of the character's mom.
Yeah.
okay. Oh my lord. All right. Well, does anyone have any final things to say about Studio Dean's Fate route?
Uh,
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, I think it's grossly overhated for what it is.
It's not that bad, guys. Like, come on.
not that bad. It is a mess, but
Yeah.
It's got some problems, but it's not that bad. It's
Yeah.
I would say it's at least like a 6. Like it's
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Hmm.
like taken on its own out of the context of the rest of the Fate series, it's pretty dang good anime.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you guys want to rate? Do you guys want to hear our ratings of these series of each?
Yeah, sure. Let's do a rating.
Okay. I would say like 6.7.
Yeah, I think myself would be like a 7 on its own merits.
Okay.
Yeah, I had it as like a low to mid 7 for me.
Yeah.
All right. I think
All right.
it's pretty good.